everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing an extra special little treat of a makeup look, and that is to celebrate Cult Beauty's 15th birthday. So I am very, very excited and very happy to say that I am working with Cult Beauty on this video. And when they were planning their 15th birthday, they asked a few of their ambassadors to send in some pictures of their teenage selves. Oh, baby. And write a little note to my 15-year-old self. So when I was going through and finding the photos to submit to Cult Beauty, I found some very questionable photo booth photos from my later years of high school and thought it would be fun to dedicate this makeup look to my 15-year-old self. Take a look at how I did my makeup back then and perhaps discuss how my makeup techniques have changed and what I would like to tell my 15-year-old self, aka please deal with those brows, my girl. And if you didn't know, I've been working with Cult Beauty for some time and I have an ongoing discount code. You can always use my code CBXAlana to save some moolah off of your orders on Cult Beauty. And I also have a landing page that I continually update with my favorite products of all time. So obviously all of the products that I use in today's video are available on Cult Beauty. And if you wanted to shop on the site, you can shop some of my favorites and save a little cash at the same time. So I'm going to link all my favorites below. All the products I use will be listed in the description box as well. And happy 15th birthday to Cult Beauty. Let us celebrate with our 15-year-old makeup self. Now, when I was a teenage gal, I wasn't one with the fashion or makeup world. I definitely, I had a little sack of makeup that had been given to me from my mom and some of her friends that I loved to play with. And you know, us millennials were very into the photo shoot, photo booth life. It was like when we were at home hiding in our rooms in the basement, we would throw all this makeup on, do our hair, put outfits on, and just take thousands of photos and upload all of the photos onto Facebook. It was a weird time. That was an interesting time. Anyway, yeah, I didn't really wear makeup and I didn't really get into makeup until university because when I graduated high school, that was one of the first times that I ever had a full face of makeup put onto my face. And I remember being like, wow, I can look so amazing with some makeup. It was quite a life-altering experience for me. So yeah, high school was definitely playtime. And all things considered, this photo, I'm very impressed. I even have liner on. The brows are what they are. I had dyed my hair dark at this point because I used to be bleached blonde before this. I dyed my hair a lot in high school. That was kind of the one thing I did. But I have to say, the complexion looks okay. We've got mascara, we've got a liner on. And the only thing I had for cheeks was one of those little pearl bronzers. Do you guys remember those? A lot of brands had them. I think the one I used was Physicians Formula and that was stolen from my mother. It was either that or Avon. I have no idea. I have no record of this, but it was those little pots that had all the different colored bronzer beads, sparkly bronzer beads in it. And I used to just rub those all over my face. So that's the extent of makeup here and also pre-Invisalign me. But other than that, it could have been worse, and it was definitely an upgrade from my 12-year-old self, which was very deep into my black eyeliner emo phase. But we won't go there. Let's start off with the base. I am lacking a little bit of glow today, and I definitely wouldn't have used a primer when I was in high school because I just don't think that such a thing existed, honestly. So this is the Vive Skin Nova, and I'm gonna put this on the high points of my face just to add a little bit of extra glow and shine, because you guys know, once I discovered the glowing life, I never looked back. Now, the concept of underpainting is new to me as of a few weeks ago, so 15-year-old me certainly wouldn't have had any idea of that. I used to just rub the bronzer right here on the apples of my cheeks, and that was as good as it's gonna get. But now we've learned a fun new makeup technique, and we continue to learn new techniques all the time. Just really into the underpainting moment right now. So I'm gonna take a bit of my Nude Sticks Bondi Bay, which I haven't actually tried underpainting using this one yet. So I'm excited to do it today and see how it looks. It might be a little bit warm, honestly, but we're gonna do it. So if you've missed the discussion of underpainting, it's basically putting all of your contour, bronzer, concealer, highlighting, all of that jazz underneath your foundation. And I am loving it lately. And I'm very determined to perfect it in my everyday makeup life. So each day that I've been getting ready, I've kind of just been using different products to see how it goes, but loving it so much. Please let me know in the comments down below if you have tried the underpainting technique yet. It's not a new technique, it's just new to me. This idea has been around for a long time, and obviously things come and go in the trends and become little hot topics and buzzwords and whatnot. So yes, many of people have done this before, but it's always nice to be re-inspired, isn't it? Now, I do believe that Bondi Bay is a little bit warm for this. I could have used something more cool tone for sure, but I mean, hey, it goes in line with what I used as 15-year-old me. So let's go ahead and brighten this up, perhaps even out a little bit of this warmth a bit. I'm gonna use my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I have a couple shades of this that I'm gonna mix together and put on my face. I'm gonna go between vanilla and custard. So I'm starting off with vanilla just in the center of my face. And I'm actually gonna blend this out as I go, just because I can very easily go overboard with the NARS concealer when I'm applying it right out of the package. And I'm trying my hardest to use less and less product, especially under my eyes. So I'm just gonna kind of do this in layers and blend this out with my brush. I certainly didn't use concealer back in the day. I don't think I knew what that was. Actually, that is correct. Fun fact for you, I learned what concealer was in 2014 when I had my MAC interview. Why they hired me, I will never understand, but it was in the makeup application interview that I learned what concealer was. I was a foundation gal exclusively. How embarrassing. Oh, how the times have changed. Beautiful. And then I'll take a bit of the custard shade because it's a little bit deeper, and I'm gonna put that around this area so it's not necessarily highlighted. So once we're done blending out all of the concealer, we are going to go on top of this with foundation. I'm gonna use the Clé de Peau Radiant Cream Foundation, which is beautiful. I'm using this one in the shade 020 Light Medium Ochre. I'm actually gonna work off of a little palette for this, just so I can really use a small amount with a little stipple brush, because I haven't tried underpainting with this yet, but I think that it's gonna be the perfect foundation for it. And it's a little bit warmer too, so it's gonna be slightly warmer than the concealer that we've put in the center of the face, and so I think it's gonna have a nice effect. So it's really lightly spreading that all on top. Now when it comes to cream blush, we definitely have a much more refined taste, and we have many, many more options available to us than we did back then in the early 2000s. And I, for one, 15 years later, have become obsessed so much with all the cream products, but a cream blush is definitely my go-to. So I'm actually gonna use this Nude Sticks Cherie shade. And I think that the placement on my cheeks was okay. I do love the little youthful plumping on the apples of the cheeks, so I'm gonna keep my blush there, as I do. Blend this out onto the apples of my cheeks, but something that we're doing differently these days is bringing that blush all the way up. Go along my entire cheek area, honestly. I think it just gives it such a natural, beautiful flush. This is a beautiful, nice, fresh pink, which is a shade that I love to don on a daily basis. Definitely wouldn't have known that my colors were not coloring then, but my bronzer looks rather orange, so perhaps I was manifesting the future of my Picante blush. I'm just gonna dab a little bit of that on my lips, too. Now for eyes here, I've got a solid black liner on, and I don't think I would have even known how to do the flick. I think I used to just draw it right along my lash line, which is fine, but we have a little bit more knowledge now, and we love to use brown because for me and my skin tone, I just feel like it gives a nice, much more soft look and feel to the makeup. So I'm gonna use this Hindash Intra Eye Tone Pencil, and we're gonna smudge a little bit of that on the lash line. We're still getting that definition, girl, don't worry. You know, I still loved the look of big fluffy lashes, and I definitely wore mascara. But little did I know that a tiny little bit of brown eyeliner could have such an impact on that lash line without needing a big, thick black line added on top. I can't even imagine the power I would have held if we had access to the abundance of eyeshadow palettes that we do now. Teenagers now have no idea how lucky they are to have beautiful arrays of makeup like this. This is the Hindash Monochromance palette, one of my favorite ones in existence on the planet, really, and I love the variety of shades that you get in here. You can use it all over your face, your eyes, your cheeks. I'm happy to report that the eyeshadow I seem to be wearing is just the same nice light bronzer-esque looking brown, and you know what? Not too much has changed. I still love a light little wash of something something on my eyes. I think perhaps then it had a lot more chunky bits of glitter that would have been running all over my face. We have discovered matte eyeshadows in the 15 years that have passed. I also would have never known to put eyeshadow on my lower lash line. That was a discovery that came very much later in life. I'm going to go ahead and use the Laura Mercier Ultra Blur powder to set some of this in, because I definitely, like I didn't use concealer, so I certainly wasn't doing any specific setting back in my day, but we have now learned the benefit that that can have. Mascara was definitely something that I did not go lightly with, but we have definitely explored the abundance of mascaras that now exist. And I'm actually gonna try a new one today. This is new from Swede. This is their Pro Lash Lift Mascara. I love their individual lashes so much. This has a very interesting wand. Look at that science. How far the makeup has come. Let's give it a go. It looks okay, but it was weird to apply. Let's slick up these brows because brow gel is something that I definitely did not discover until much, much later in life. And once I discovered a feathery, slicked up brow, I definitely never looked back. This is the Benefit 24-Hour Clear Brow Gel, and I never filled in my brows in high school. I don't even think I knew what that meant, but I just think of what I could have accomplished, the greatness that I would have held in my hands had I known the power of a lifted feathery brow. I am so grateful and thankful for setting spray every single day because in high school, we used hairspray. Oh yes, if we were putting any makeup on our face, we used to use hairspray and we would spray our faces with hairspray. Can you imagine us doing that now? No, never. We have grown, we have learned, we do not spray hairspray on our face and our skin thanks us for it. We are endlessly grateful for setting spray. Lip liner was certainly non-existent, and you know, a few other lip enhancements also didn't exist, which I'm sure many of you would be grateful for based on some of the comments I get. But listen, I discovered juicy lips in my later life and I have never looked back. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude Lip Cheat. Chantecaille Lip Chic and Patience, the perfect nude. The nude that I didn't know existed 15 years ago. And with that, my friends, our almost 30-year-old version of our makeup is done. Let us do a little side-by-side and acknowledge the growth that has happened in 15 years. And what's so funny to me is that when I was younger, when I was 15, I always assumed that like, oh, when I become a woman, I'm gonna wear so much makeup and I'm gonna be so fabulous. All those little assumptions that we have. And I find it so funny and ironic that the makeup just seems to be getting less and less and less and more natural. And even though, I mean, listen, there's layers on here, but I don't think that I would have anticipated this kind of look for myself. I think that I would have thought that a much more dark and smoky and womanly grown-up makeup was in my future. So I love nothing more than looking back at old photos and seeing how much has changed and reflecting on those good old little teenage times. It's fun, isn't it? I hope you guys enjoyed this video, a little look down memory lane and a few things that have definitely changed in the last 15 years. So happy birthday to Cult Beauty. Thank you so much for working with me on this video. And I love this idea and love taking a little trip down memory lane. So I'd love to hear from you guys. What are some things that you loved when you were 15? And what things have you changed in your makeup routine in the years that have passed? Would love to hear. Let's have a little chat in the comments down below. You guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for being here and for watching. And I'll see you all very soon for a new one. Bye!